Hey, how are you? Welcome back to Glossop Moor Camping. Friday evening. Yes, it's camp time. Okay, so where are we then? Where are we going? That's what you want to know, isn't it? So at the moment I've parked up in Old Glossop and I've walked 2 minutes up the road, and behind me here is the path that we're going to take. It's basically a quarry track, and the quarry leads to a feature called Cock Hill. Yeah, you heard me say it. And Cock Hill, apparently there's like a load of remains there of the quarry, so I might have a little look at some of those, but we're going to go via Cock Hill, past there, onto Glossop Moor. This is all new territory for me. I've just literally just seen it on the map, and I've heard other people talk about it, that it's a walk that some people do from around here. So I'll get that done, and then the idea is that we'll move to the right and go over Bleaklow, and we should, if my course that I've programmed on the OS app is correct, meet at higher shelf stones, which I have camped before. I know I've done a couple of videos on it, but the good thing is with this video, hopefully we'll mix it up a little bit with the new route I'm taking. Tomorrow morning the idea is to come back via Yellow Slacks, which is one of my favourite routes, back down into Glossop and to the car. So on we go. I hope you're excited. I know I am. Well, as you'll be able to see, we're rewarded with quite nice views over Glossop already. We've hardly even been going 5 minutes. The rest of this path, for quite some way now, it's got these high walls and banks either side of it, so you're not going to get any views obviously for a while. But once this bit's out of the way and we get up towards there's like a plantation there. I think just past the plantation is the path that goes up to Cock Hill, so onwards we go. Just as I'll show you my footwear. Now, didn't go with the walking boots because it's so warm, but these aren't waterproof, so there could be problems. But the good news is I've got grip. You can keep your walking poles, Steve. Look, I've got Goodyear, mate. Goodyear. Well, in front of us here, this wooded hill is Shire Hill. It's not a view you normally see of it. It's normally seen from the other side on most of the hikes that I've done in the past. So moving to the left here, we can actually see our destination. So I'll just zoom into that. Okay, so you can see those sort of cliffs there. That's shelf benches. And then right above there is higher shelf stones. So we are taking quite a long route to get to it. I think it's less direct than the route I'd normally take up shelf benches, but this should be a more gradual climb. So we've just come out now at the plantation here. I've got to get past here and then the path will veer off to the left. I'll just show you the view to the left of here as well. Got to be honest, don't know the names of those hills over there, but I believe it'll be sort of Torside direction. And the hill with the mast on right here is Castle Hill. And apparently there's a remains up there of an old castle. And also, I believe, a possible pagan altar. There were some stones found there that have mysterious properties. When they were put in an office in a museum in Buxton, they messed around with the electronic equipment. The computers that were in the room no longer worked. Once the stones were removed, the computers worked again, so make of that what you will. So directly in front of us now, that's Cock Hill. You can see the piles of stones up there from the quarrying operations. So really, should be just a case of following this track. It looks like it's going to go around to the left, and you can see, hopefully you can see there on the camera, that yeah, works its way up to the top of the hill. Should be some views over the other side there. I'm hoping towards Torside and possibly Crowden. So we'll see when we get there. Hey you, I'm looking at you. Yeah? So just before I crest the summit of Cock Hill, I'll just show you the back of yellow slacks. Again, never seen yellow slacks from this angle. Not that there's much to see, but it's just interesting to know for reference. Now what's unknown at this point with this walk is how much of the path I'm going to take is actually a path. I mean, those of you who've done this know that crossing over heather topped moorlands with peat hags and gruffs isn't exactly easy, so I'm hoping that there is a more distinct path than what I could see on Google Earth. So I've planned a route out that's basically going to take us directly to High Shelf Stones, which you can see again just over there. But it'll be interesting to see how this pans out, to be honest with you. Anyway, there's only one way to find out. Cock Hill! Always reassuring to see how far away we are from Manchester. And I'm zoomed in there as well. Look how far away from Manchester we really are. That's better. Well, this ruin marks pretty much the summit of Glossop Low. And it's worth mentioning that I believe, shout out to you, Steve, from Mr. Nobody's Wild Camping Adventures. I think you were in this area. I think the very first video I saw of yours, Steve, was where you camped in this area. Not sure where you put your bivvy or whatever it was, but yeah, there's some flat spots around here. But anyway, yeah, so that's a good YouTube channel. Please give it some love, everyone. Subscribe to Steve. And I'm sure he's got some more camping videos coming up soon. He's making a lot of joke videos at the moment, just little shorts and things. So yeah, worth checking that out. Anything in this? Oh, nice. So you've even got somewhere you can get some water. How wonderful. Oh, nice. Lovely peaceful atmosphere up here. Few birds. Was that a bird of prey? Bird of prey. Bird of prey flying around. I wonder what that is. Just, if you can see it, I'll try zooming in, but it's a bit far away really. But that call, some of you bird lovers out there might know what that is. So let's have a quick look at where we're up to on the Ordnance Survey app. See, we veered off the path a couple of times. That's because the actual path in reality was different from what I'd planned. So here we go. Hope you can see that okay. It's not the brightest. Yes, so we need to be heading over to the right. So let's have a look. Is there a path? So that away. Okay. These apps are very useful. The red triangle there shows where I'm up to at the moment. And I'm about to come off the summit of Glossop Low and continue my journey. And I can see shelf stones in sight over there. It's quite a way away, but probably not as far as I think. Anyway, onwards and upwards. This style's very welcome because it means that's the end of the least enjoyable part of the walk. Harrop Moss. Not nice. So I'm just gonna have a look around because I think we are now in the vicinity of Dog Rock. I'll show you when we get there. So we're here at Dog Rock, and this area, as you'll see when I turn the camera around, but you can turn around with me actually, this area is some of my absolute favourite local walking. The views, the atmosphere, it's just perfection. This valley in particular, I'll just turn the camera around, it's just breathtaking from here. Again, I don't know whether the camera's picking up the grandeur of it, but standing on top of Dog Rock here, it's just absolutely stunning, it is. Anyway, our route now, we're going to follow the path here, which is along where basically the top of the rocks there. The path goes all the way along and starts to follow the brook. Eventually the valley peters out into just a little ridge for the brook, and when we can we'll cross it and we'll be going over the moor there and making our way over to higher shelf stones, which is, I think that's lower shelf stones we can see there. Highest shelf stones is just behind there, but that's where we're going. Absolutely glorious, this. So as expected, once we get onto Shelf Moss, this is the terrain we've got to contend with. No clear path that I can see. Couldn't see it on Google Earth, and it ain't here in real life, but it doesn't matter. Every so often you get up on top and I can see where I'm heading for, in addition to the OS map directing me. But it's very slow going, this kind of terrain. Very slow going. Really slows you down to about probably 1 or 2 miles an hour if you're lucky. So yeah. Anyway, sun's out ish. And oh, a bunny. Little bunny. Seen a couple of bunnies, and one of them definitely was a hare because it was a lot bigger and had longer legs. What's funny is when you think you're going straight, I'll show you the OS map. So the red line was the ideal line, and the blue line, I'm going to bring it up, the blue line is where I've gone. Can you see that? Just let's see, let's turn it on this way. I don't know if you're going to see because my shadow's in the way. Let's try there. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, I've veered off quite a lot. But the red line was just me making it up, to be honest with you. Just thought, well, I need to get from point A to point B. So I drew a straight line. Anyway, I reckon we're probably only about 20 minutes, half an hour away from higher shelf stones now. I'll see if I'm right about that. The time is 5 to 8. So let's see. Well, look what's just popped over. The peat hags. Oh yes. Now, the summit, as you can see, of higher shelf stones is right there. You can see the trig point. But the camping spot is, I'm not sure if it's quite as far as those rocks there, but let me just hang on, point the camera correctly. Right, come on. But basically, I don't know if you can see, that's this area here. Pretty sure that's where I've camped last time. So we'll go to the top, have a look, and then make our way to the spot. So we've come down off the top now into this area here, and I'm now going to try and find the spot I had last time, which was really good. It's just about big enough for my tent, and it was amongst these rocks. I think it was up this end somewhere. Yeah. Leave it with me, I'll show you where I end up. Well, I think I found the spot, but I can't be sure. But I've had a good walk around, and there's only two places that are flat enough to put a tent, and this is one of them right here. And I'm sure this is where I was before. So let me turn the camera around. I'm working blind. The camera I use has got this tiny little screen on it, so that explains why sometimes things go a little bit out of view, and yeah, because I can't really see well enough. I'm going to be upgrading this camera soon to the same, well, it's a DJI, what's it called, Osmo Pocket 2 this is, but I'm going to upgrade to the Pocket 3 when finances allow, and it's got a bigger screen on it. Anyway, let me just show you the pitch. Yep, so there we are, just enough room for the tent there, tiny little bit uneven, but about the best you can find in this place. Quite like the idea of it being nestled among the rocks as well. So it's time to start getting unpacked rather, and get the tent up. Hurrah. There we go, right. All pitched up and ready. As you can see, the area is just big enough for a two-man tent. Walk around it. Not much room, but just enough. Okay, so let's get the bag in and get all set up. And it'll be time to think about brews and tea, and I brought a little bit of Ardbeg with me tonight as well. Oh yeah. Well, you know the drill. We're set up. I've got the stove on for a brew. Everything's neat and tidy inside the tent. Awesome stuff. The sky's looking like it's got a bit of colour, so I'm wondering whether there might be a decent sunset tonight. Very misty though over the rest of the terrain. Can just about see Glossop and some of the lights coming on there, but no sign of Manchester at the moment. We'll see if this cloud, well, it's not really cloud, it's just a sort of like a mist hanging over the valley. Hopefully that'll clear anyway. Anyway, what a spot this is. I can see why I loved it last time. Rocks, friends. See if anyone can remember what movie that's from. Well, good evening. It's tea time. I've got my curry on the stove, another nice homemade one, so can't wait for that. Very tasty. What else? Well, not much to really say, really. Interesting week this week. Bit up and down, but I got some new work coming, doing some quite complicated drawings of roof lanterns, oak roof lanterns, so quite involved to draw them in SketchUp. I won't bore you with it all, but basically there's a lot of curves, there's a lot of extruded profiles. There's when you paint things with textures that are like got grain in them, like wood grain or oak in this case, you've got to make sure the wood grain is correct, so that, for instance, on a window frame, you've got to make sure that the wood grain like goes vertical on the two side pieces and horizontal at the top. And when it's profiled as well, it just makes it a bit of a nightmare. But anyway, that's what I've been doing at work. Been making more music with Judd, and I was mixing on my own the other day. We're getting close now. I reckon within a month, maybe that's a bit ambitious, but I reckon within a month and a half to 2 months we're gonna have it ready. And I can't wait to start releasing it. It's going to be fascinating to see what people think. It's quite odd music, but very interesting. It certainly isn't dull. There's not a dull moment. Most of the time with hip hop you get a lot of repetition, and I think we minimise that with our stuff because we mix it up. We add vocals, unusual sounds, strange ideas. I spent a lot of time programming the drums on it, so there's some, if I do say so myself, pretty impressive drum sounds on it and interesting fills and rhythms. So yeah, can't wait to get it out there. Anyway, so I've got the curry. I'll show you that, and show you the other couple of things I've got to eat. I'll be very quick because I know it's probably a bit dull. Anyway, here it comes. Look at that. Again, I'm going to have problems getting the rice into here, but it's a nice problem to have. Look at the colour of it. Lovely. So with that, got some, seeing as we're on the Indian theme, I've gone for some Sharwood's Oriental crackers. I know that those are generally more associated with Chinese food, but they'll go quite nicely with the Indian, almost like little poppadoms really. Usual, my favourite brand, always good quality this stuff. And that's about it really. I've not really got any other snacks really, apart from, I'm a bit boring, aren't I? A bit predictable. But hey, that's me. I haven't got any Peppersmith gum, so I've gone for the M&S stuff, which is still pretty nice, but not quite as good because it's not made entirely of xylitol. It's xylitol and some other sweetener or other, what is it, malitol and sorbitol. So yeah, I'm always a bit careful with sweeteners. Anything else to show you? Oh yeah, there's one more thing to show you, isn't there? Yeah, I've brought a little sweetheart tonight. I've got to say, that don't you just think it's a gorgeous colour, that hip flask? Again, we've got Ardbeg 10 in this hip flask tonight, so I'll be cracking that open a bit later. I won't be cracking it open, I'll be just, well, opening it. But anyway, yeah, all good stuff. This is starting to bubble now, so I reckon in another 3 or 4 minutes I'll add the rice. Oh yeah, looking forward to that. Well, I'll drink to your health. Ardbeg 10, one of my absolute favourite whiskies of all time. Oh, never fails to please. Perfect when out in the peat. Ah, delicious. Well, I'm just sitting, looking at the lights out there, which are kind of dimming in the distance because the mist is getting a bit worse, to be fair. Still not too bad. There's no rain. Bit of a different camp, this one. It's got a much more chilled vibe than normal. Not that it's not chilled normally, but this is particularly chilled. Really quiet place. I didn't see anyone coming here, but once I'd arrived here there was one or two people on the path there going over the tops. I could hear them talking. But yeah, certainly getting a good sense of isolation tonight, which is what I come for really. The only drawback is I recently changed my phone from, I think it was 02 before, and I went to 3 mobile, and it's not as good out here. When I was on 02, I didn't have any problems here. I could actually watch YouTube videos and everything here, but I'm having problems even sending WhatsApp messages and even text messages, so I'm not very impressed really. I think I might have to go back to 02, but of course you can't just finish a contract, can you? Oh no, you've got to pay it off. So I don't know, maybe I'll get a second phone, just a cheap smartphone with a pay-as-you-go 02 on it, and then that way I've got options when I come out camping. Anyway, so no screen time tonight, but maybe that's a good thing. So what I'm going to do is just sit here, have a few swigs, and then what time is it now? It's 5 to 11 already. Good grief. So yeah, maybe half an hour to an hour, and then it will be time for bed. So on that note, I will wish you all a very good night and see you first thing tomorrow. Morning. As you can tell, it's quite early. I've just woken up, had another pretty broken night, to be honest with you. The dawn breaks so much earlier this time of year, and all the animals make all the sounds. So I was woken up, I think the first sound I heard was either a curlew or a grouse. I think it was a grouse. Oh no, there was a sheep as well that was wandering around this area making a load of noise. So I wish animals would just be a bit more considerate for people like me trying to get some sleep here, you know what I mean? Anyway, woke up to a beautiful morning, which was forecast, so I'm delighted about that. Not too much to say really this morning. I'm going to pack up now. I've had my coffee, and we're going to make our way back via Yellow Slacks, which is one of my favourite routes, as I said yesterday. So we're going to be going over the moss, via Dog Rock again, and then back down into Glossop that way. So I'll see you at various points along the way. Hope you're enjoying it. Oh, it's been great, absolutely superb. This spot never fails to deliver, to be honest with you. So yeah, see you later. Well, the clag's been rolling, and I imagine it would look amazing if I'd have been flying a drone today. It'd be sort of spilling over the hills, beautiful. Anyway, that's where I was, and there's nothing that I can see that's been left. The way that I take the tent down is strategic. I know where I'm up to with pegs, so yeah, that's done. So unfortunately it's time to leave. It's been a great camp, always is, but this is a particularly superb area. One of my favourites. This is the 3rd time I've camped here. So it's 8:15, time to get back. My aim is to be back in Glossop by absolute latest 10:30, so should do that, but let's see. just approaching the camping spot that I was at before with Tim. This is near Lower Shelfstones. Plenty of pictures of me and Tim messing on these rocks. So straight across the valley there is Dog Rock. We will be walking past that again in a minute, but because of the valley I'm going to have to follow this gruff down, and then I'm going to go to the right a little bit. There's a path that takes us to where it's shallow enough to cross, and then basically onto the other side and back over that way, and that's basically Yellow Slacks then. So we're going to be crossing Yellow Slacks Brook in a few minutes. Here we are at Yellow Slacks Brook. Just need to get across here and just up the little bank there, and we'll be onto the path. And then that lovely valley will be opening up again on our left as we continue along the path. One of my favourite views, that. Love it. You'll see why in a minute. Not a bad way to start a morning, this really, is it, eh? Stunning. Love the view over there of Glossop. Absolutely gorgeous, that. Ah, my beloved hometown of Glossop. Shout out to any Glossopians out there watching. Now, although I'm not truly a Glossopian in the sense that I wasn't born here, I was actually born in Stockport. This is where I've lived the longest in my life. I've been here for now, what is it, 16 years at least. Followed by New Mills, where I was there for, I think it was 8 years. And I've moved all around the northwest, to be honest with you. When I used to live with my parents, my stepdad, his job used to move quite frequently, usually about every 3.5 years. So yeah, this is definitely where I've put my roots down now. Love the place, love the area. Hope never to move. Just looking back to where I was yesterday, that's Cock Hill over there. You can see the piles of spoil. I'll just zoom out, and as I move to the left, you'll see the plantation that I walked past. On the final stretch now, I'm coming down what's called Light Side to meet the path there at the bottom. It's a path that will lead to, I think it's called the Cut Gate, or no, sorry, Doctor's Gate. It leads to Doctor's Gate, which I think ends up bringing you onto the Snake Pass at some point. That's what I've heard anyway. Probably about another absolute most half an hour, in which case I'll be at the car by 10:15. So that'll be earlier than what I thought, if I do it in half an hour. See you at the car. Aren't you adorable? Let's see how close before you start to run away. Oh, sweetheart. You're a lovely looking little thing, aren't you? Anyone ever held a lamb before? I've held a lamb a couple of times in my life. They are very adorable. I'd say not quite as adorable as a white duck, just under the status of a white duck. A white duck is the emperor, as far as I'm concerned. These rhododendrons, I've always thought they're just absolutely stunning. Beautiful creatures. Taking it easy, taking it easy. Those coats though, seriously, poor horses. They stand there knowing that they look a little bit foolish, don't they? Bless them. At least they won't get sunburnt, eh? Unlike my big bald head. Well, this is the bit where you have a good gander at my distorted morning face. And these days, as I get older, you know, it takes longer and longer to fade away. It's very sad. Entropy. This is entropy. And yet, you speak to anyone who's getting on, I know I'm not that old really, I'm 50 this year, just in case you're wondering. But everyone you speak to, and they all say, oh, I still feel about 25, even if they're like 80 or 90. Inside, that is, you know. Anyway, this is the wonderful hope that I have as a Christian, that there'll be a place in heaven where I'll have a body that won't rot away like this. How good is that? And most of all, I'll be with the Lord Jesus Christ in person. That's why I get out of bed in the morning, to be honest with you. Anyway, I'm in the car, as you can see, and it's been another superb camp. I'm going to drive to the office and I will take my pack out, empty the contents into my office, get the tent dry, I'll put it over the banister. It's pretty cool having an office because obviously it's great for work, but it means I can keep all my camping stuff separate from home. And in fact, I've got all my hobby stuff in the room, so yeah, it's awesome. Anyway, I'm rambling, so I'll finish the video here. Thank you so much for watching. Again, as I always ask, please do comment, like and subscribe. I'm not that bothered about how big the channel gets. It's just nice to see that those that watch appreciate it, and just, you know, if you've got any questions, if for some reason you might find what I do interesting, then yeah, please do drop me a line. So I'll see you next time, and hopefully next time I'll be with Tim as well, so it'll be double special. Alright, see you then, bye!
Seeking out the code that runs this pseudo simulation dimension